So we've got all of our little rooms all furnished and lit up. So during the nighttime, these guys will just stay in one of these rooms so that they don't die. We can actually look at that. We can check who is living where in this little menu here. So if we go to our our armor menu, up here we have our equipment. On the right hand side here, this little button here is for equipment. Just gonna be like extra accessories that we don't have yet. We've got our housing tab, which will tell us who lives in our world and where they live. So nobody's moved into this room here on the left, but eventually somebody will. We'll see that, and I'll talk about it when that happens. But you can see the automaton, whose name is 413 BFS. He's moved into the middle room, and Joe, the guide, has moved into the to the right hand room here. So that's good enough for now. We've got some storage space. We've got some room for our NPCs. And we've got some more room in case we need to place stuff down, like this bench. Whether or not we place decorations or like plants or, you know, whatever. Crafting bench, a furnace, whatever. Whether or not we place that in the rooms, the NPCs won't get mad. You just need to have a table, a chair, and some light in there, and they'll be just good to go. And it doesn't really matter, for the most part, what you make the rooms out of. So if I wanted to make the rooms out of dirt, and I think use dirt walls, I think you can make dirt walls. Like I said, as long as it has walls, light, and a table and chair, you're good to go. And you can actually see, we got our next NPC here. His name is Howard. He says, "Boy, that sun is hot. I do have some perfectly ventilated armor." And you can see he's got a shop. He's got a little happiness meter. This is nice. Lots of privacy to store my wares. I like the scenery in the forest. A good view attracts customers. And depending on the housing conditions, he'll tell you whether or not he's unhappy. I'm not really sure if happiness really affects like their prices or not, but we'll get into that later. So he's got a bunch of stuff. He's got like a piggy bank, an anvil, pickaxe, axe, other tools, potions, arrows. So he's gonna be pretty helpful early on, because if I run out of arrows or something, I'm gonna buy more from him. If I run out of torches, we'll get into all this other stuff later. But for now, let's see what we can do. So I got my statue. Let's put this outside. Got that music box. Put that like right there. I don't really want the music box on right now, but I'll just leave it there in case I do later. We've got our wood, we've got our dirt. I don't really need the dirt, but if I need some building blocks, I like to keep some wood on me. Another headstone. Some more fallen stars. Some gel and some mushrooms. And some money. Alright. So that's actually going to be what the money is used for. I mean, it might seem kind of obvious. But, of course, you can use money to buy stuff. So if I want to buy a piggy bank to store more money, so it's not on my character, it's going to cost me 89 silver. which I don't have quite yet, but I'll have soon. I can buy an anvil, but I can't really use it yet. Let's see, I don't have enough for the mining helmet. I don't have enough for the piggy bank. I could buy a bug net. I don't really need that. I could buy another pickaxe, another axe, some torches, some potions for health and mana, some arrows, some shurikens, which I can throw, but are ranged damage instead of rogue for some reason. I could buy some rope, so I can climb on that if I need to get out of a situation. I think I have some in my chest, but I'll buy some more just in case. I can buy a sickle, which I don't really need. I can buy a bottle, which you can fill up with water, which can be useful later, but I don't really need that right now. A wormhole potion, which will teleport you to another party member, as in another player. But of course I'm playing single player, so I don't really need that. Coffee, which will give me medium improvements to all stats instead of minor improvement. So this is going to be a little bit better than the fruit I've been collecting. And a forest pylon, which I cannot afford. But this is, I can teleport to another pylon when two villagers are nearby. And you can only place one per type and in the matching biome. The way they worded that is kind of confusing. And I can't afford it, so I can't show you what it does. But basically what this means is that in every biome in the game, you can get one of these pylons. And if there's two pylons in the world, like if I have a forest pylon and then I have like a tundra pylon, because there's a snow biome. So if I have the snow pylon, as long as two villagers are nearby each pylon, then I can teleport between the two pylons at any time for free. But what this is saying is that I can only place one of each type of pylon at all. So if there's like two snow biomes, I can only put a pylon in one of them. So, you know, I'll get into that later. It's a bit confusing, but I don't really need that right now. I do have some fallen stars, which are helpful. Because these will actually craft into something which I can use to increase my mana. So, you know, if I'm like curious, if I'm curious enough, I could take all my take all my materials and see what all of them make, and then, you know, eventually I'd come across this, which says permanently increases maximum mana by 20, which is great because I only have 20 mana. So as long as I have 5 fallen stars, I can craft that into a mana crystal and use that to increase my maximum mana by 20, which will make this little blue bar get a little bit bigger. And I can keep doing that as long as I have more fallen stars. So I've got 5 more I can use, and I've got this extra one that I got in the little starter bundle. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and use these. I've got 2 more. So that's going to be an increase of 40 to my already existing 40, so I should have a max of 80. And you can see that is true. And all that does, it doesn't really make my magic weapons stronger, it just makes them more usable, I guess. It means I can use them more before having to recharge my mana, which is pretty great. And that little ding, 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 that just means my mana is recharged. So if I'm like in the middle of a battle and I can't look over to the corner, then I'll hear that little, and I'll know my mana is recharged. Now the health doesn't do that, so I have to look in the corner in order to make sure I'm not going to die. But the mana's nice, and it helps out in that way. So it's nighttime again. I didn't really do much during the day except expand the house. But that's fine. Let's see what Joe has to say by asking for some help. There's some special plants and other ingredients that you can use use to dye things. Maybe if you keep some with you, you'll find someone to show you how. Now that's going to be some pretty loaded text, because like he said, if I find certain items, I can use them to dye stuff. Like there's certain plants, like he's saying. So if I find like a yellow, like an especially yellow plant, it will tell me, oh, you can use this to dye things. And if I keep that on me, someone will actually spawn into the world and sell me stuff that will help me dye my clothes. So that's a pretty loaded statement. It's kind of cryptic if you don't really know like how the game works. If you didn't know any better, you'd be like, oh, well, I don't even know what to look for, and then you might miss like the dye stuff. But that's pretty useful. They say sand is terrible for golfing. No self-respecting golfer would ever be caught in the desert. Right? And again, that's kind of hinting at another character, which can be found at the desert. If Howard's wares don't interest you, a wandering merchant often visits with exotic merchandise. So what he's basically just telling you how to get other people to move into your town. Now, of course, if you want other people to move in, you have to expand the house or build other houses somewhere else in order to get them to move in. But as long as you do that and follow what he's saying, then you can get more people moved in. Not all the not all the other. Oh my god, what am I saying? Not all the undead monsters are hostile. I hear one even sells merchandise deep underground. See, that's another one. The world is full of many exciting and dangerous creatures to discover. There are some experts who might reward you for sharing that knowledge with them. Now, I don't really know what he's talking about there. The world is full of many exciting and dangerous creatures. There are some experts who might reward you for sharing that knowledge. Oh, okay, I get it. I think he's saying if I fill out this list of monsters that you can access in the inventory, that's one of the buttons I didn't talk about. This one's going to be an emote window. So if I want to emote, I can do that. Of course, I'm on single player, so I don't really... I'm not going to really use that. But the other button here is a bestiary of all the different stuff you find in the game. So we've got our NPCs here at the top. We've got some mobs here. We've got some birds and some bunnies, squirrels. Then we also have monsters. So slimes, zombies, demon eyes, ghosts, all that stuff. So I think he's saying if we fill out this whole thing, which is a lot, maybe we'll get a reward for it. I don't know who he's talking to or who he's talking about exactly, but I think that's what he's saying. You can make a grappling hook from a hook and 3 chains. Skeletons found deep underground usually carry hooks, and chains can be made from iron bars or lead bars. Okay, so that's another thing we could do. If you place an empty bottle on a table, you can use it to craft all sorts of neat potions, which is also true. Hang up any banners you earn from defeating foes, as they will help you in future combat with that creature, which is true. So he's just going to cycle through all these different tips and everything, and we can find out progression tips or progression hints from him as well. And as we progress through the game, this stuff gets harder and harder and more complicated. he will actually cycle through new tips. So he's basically always going to have something for us to do. So, I think we should, in the morning, I think we should do something that he's, I think we should do something that he tells us to do. And just see how long that takes us. I'm not really interested in necessarily just going like straight through the game the way I would normally do it off camera, because I think it's kind of boring, and you know, it's fun for me when I need to kill some time and I'm just kind of mindlessly, you know, in the caves just doing whatever. But for the sake of the series, I think it's I think it'd be pretty fun to follow the guide, and like I said, kind of follow the game as it was designed. I'm not gonna get a reward for it or anything, but I think it could be pretty fun. And now I'm not gonna go on this right-hand side of the map, I don't think, for a while, because we do have a new biome, some new monsters. It is nighttime, which is gonna be inherently more dangerous. We've got like this guy up here called an Eater of Souls. He's gonna be unique to this purplish biome that's like right to the right of my house. We've got new trees, new dirt. Saw that one new enemy, new stone. It's like purple stone that I can't even dig through yet because my pickaxe is not good enough. New music and everything, so you know, we'll get there eventually. But we just gotta upgrade our stuff. So let's see, what can we do right now? Oh, we got a ghost man. What can we do, Mr. Joe, Mr. Guide? While you explore the underground, you may occasionally encounter helpful fairies, and if you follow them, maybe they will lead you to treasure. I mean, that's helpful, but I can't really do anything with that. If you see a pot, be sure to smash it open. They contain all sorts of useful supplies. Okay. There is treasure hidden all over the world. Some amazing things can be found deep underground. Okay. Shadow orbs can be usually found in the chasms around corrupt areas. Smashing too many will unleash the Eater of Worlds. Defeating this foe may cause meteors to fall out of the sky. Now that seems pretty intense, but it's true. We don't need to worry about that now, because we can't really go out of our forest area, so we don't even need to worry about corrupt areas. You should focus on gathering more life crystals to increase your maximum life. Now that is something we can do right now. And your current equipment simply won't do. You need to make better armor, and we can do that too right now, actually. Alright, that seems like a... Oh, he just told me. I was gonna say, we can do all that right now. We can find heart crystals for maximum life, and we can make new armor. The only problem is we don't know where to find the crystals for health. But he just told us. I just kind of exited out of the dialogue. All that dialogue was saying is that we can find them underground, and we can break the crystals with a pickaxe. So I'm gonna go off and try to find a cave, because the heart crystals will be underground exclusively. So I need to find a cave, and I need to find some iron or something to make new armor. Now, if you don't recall, you might say, why do we need better armor? That is because we're eventually trying to work our way up to our first boss. And the way we do that is we use one of these items to summon him, or it says randomly you'll find him in the outer thirds of the map occasionally, or if you kill 150 slimes during an event called Slime Rain. So, in order to spawn him, we're gonna have to do one of those three things. And to get this item that spawns him anytime we use it, we need 20 gel, which we get from killing slimes, and a gold crown, which it doesn't actually tell us how to craft that crown. So we need to figure that out. And we need to craft those things at a demon altar, which is a special kind of crafting bench that we can't get to yet. So this is kind of what I mean by the game doesn't tell you what to do. It tells me what the boss is and all that, what boss we need to get to. It tells me how to summon the boss, but it does not tell me what to do in order to get the item that summons that boss. So it's kind of nice, but it's kind of mean in that way. So we need to get 20 gel from killing slimes. I've already got a handful of gel on me. It's not quite enough for that, for the King Slime summon. And we need to find a gold crown. Or craft a gold crown. Now, if you're a little astute, or you got some game sense on you, you might be able to guess that if you get some gold, like gold bars and gold ore, that you might be able to take that to the guide and say, hey, what is this craft? And he might be able to tell you, oh, you can craft that into a gold crown using, you know, certain materials, which I will do once I get some gold on me. But of course, sometimes you need to find the items, so it's not always the case of, you know, taking something to the guide and asking what it crafts into, because sometimes you just need to find the item in the world, and he won't tell you where to get certain things. So again, it's just a matter of playing the game and kind of figuring out where stuff is, how to craft stuff, and even experienced players like myself. Like I've been playing this game since I was a kid, and I still don't know everything there is to the game. So even, you know, players with a bunch of hours in the game don't really know absolutely everything in terms of crafting and and finding stuff. So it's just a matter of how well you know how to use the tools that the game gives you. So I need to remember what I'm out here doing, because I tend to get distracted, forget kind of easily. Excuse me. So I'm out here trying to get some more armor and some more HP. So I want to keep my eyes out for some extra ore that looks a bit different from this gray stone, and I want to keep my eyes out for something that might be a heart crystal. Now I see a little vein of ore here. It's going to be copper ore, which is great because I can actually make armor out of copper, unlike in Minecraft where copper doesn't really do anything. I see another something here. It's going to be tungsten ore, which is actually not even in Minecraft at all. So that's just completely different and unique to this game. Got a tree that looked like it had some stuff on it, which it did. Had these topaz gems on it, as well as a acorn that's made out of topaz. So if you want to regrow these gem trees, you can actually do that for more gems. Got some more tungsten. Got some... We've got a new enemy. You knew... Oh, never mind. Alright. I was gonna say, I think I'd be able to handle these, but I guess not.